Namaste, welcome to Insight. On this episode of Insight, I'm going to talk about compassion, pure compassion. Pure compassion allows us to traverse the boundaries that we very often perceive between ourselves and others, and to give ourselves the ability to see the true depth of connection that exists between, say, I and they, or for some of us, we or us. Moreover, true compassion recognizes that all of those boundaries we perceive between ourselves and others is simply a fantastical illusion, or as I like to say, nonsense. Now, when you first start to practice compassion with this deep understanding, this may initially elude you, but if you keep the faith that we start where we are and continuously move forward with our understanding, then eventually we become clearer of the true meaning. When we move closer to that clear understanding, then every time we can see our own self-concern, then this will help us to accommodate compassion for others. And as with any skill in life, compassion grows mostly in the presence of adversity, difficulty and challenge. For example, when we practice small acts of compassion almost every day, then we see with crystal clarity when our nearest and dearest, our loved ones, are being short with us, or maybe they're not on top form, or maybe we have complete clarity of compassion when someone, say, jumps the queue when we're in our local shop, or cuts us up when we're driving down the road. At this time, we extend our forgiveness, trying to understand their point of view, as often we know how it is to feel stressed out or, say, irritable or annoyed. The true practice of compassion becomes even more difficult when we find that we are unable to fully understand the actions of a person who has upset or even offended us. It's at this point we have to look more deeply inside ourselves and into the very deepest parts of our character or psyche. That's often not a place we visit. This is because we have suppressed these areas due to, say, the taboos of society, our community or our family, which has labelled them as wrong or incorrect. Now, an example of this could be acts of violence, which are often well beyond anything that we ourselves could carry out. So when we are on the receiving ends of such acts, we are often at a complete loss. This is where the real potential for growth begins, because we are called to shine a light inside ourselves and take responsibility for what we have disowned or for what we are not familiar with. It is at this juncture that we have the opportunity to transform ourselves, to better ourselves. This can seem like a very tall order in the moment, but when life presents us with circumstances that requires our own compassion, no matter how very difficult, we can trust that we are as ready as we can be. We can call upon all the light we have cultivated so far, allowing it to, say, lead the way into the darkest passages, into the darkest parts of our own hearts, connecting us to the hearts of others in the understanding that this really is true compassion. Namaste.